Sometimes I sit down and think to myself, why do I play video games? And my response would usually be the world, the characters, the immersion, and the feeling of living life in another person's shoes. But recently, I've started to look around and think that the reason others play video games is just to have fun. But why do I think of these other aspects, such as immersion, before the aspect of having fun, which is considered to be the primary aspect of why people play video games? And I think it's down to the games I play, really. The Fallout and Elder Scrolls franchises offer me an expansive and immersive world where I can be almost anything I want to be within a fantasy demographic, at least. And then there's games like Dark Souls, which offer me an amazingly intricate and detailed one, with little shortcuts and hidden things to find and discover all the time. But recently, the game I've been playing most isn't some fantastic open world gem like Morrowind, nor a particularly deep, intricate one like Dark Souls, but rather something more casual, and that game is Paladins. Paladins Champions of the Realm is a teamwork-based hero shooter with MOBA elements. It isn't story-based, and as of right now, there's little to no lore or story to speak of. The world hasn't really been developed other than a few maps, and yet I find myself enthralled within this game. So without further ado, I present you my thoughts on why you should play Paladins Champions of the Realm. The first time I saw Paladins would have been on Steam, just like any other game. I looked at it for a bit and clicked not interested like many other games. It was not until my friend introduced it to me, saying we should play together, that I bothered to check it out. Initially I thought I'd play a few games for about a week and be done with it, but the week turned into 2, then 1 month, and now for the foreseeable future. Hearthstone brought me back into a competitive style of gaming, but it made me frustrated, angry, salty, not to mention the only thing I felt satisfied with it was when opening a legendary card, and even then, those moments were few and far between. I only opened about 3 in my whole time playing it, which was a lot. And I'm not saying Paladins doesn't have these experiences, though I feel like I'm having an amazing time while playing it. Almost every game is enjoyable. Games in Paladins can go numerous ways. Perhaps your team absolutely slaughters the opposition and you get 30 kills and no deaths. You feel good at how brutally efficient you are. The next game comes around and it begins, and you and your team are decimated by the enemy team. They capture the payload for the second time, but you try with all your might and pull through. You then capture the objective 3 more times, and eventually, after a long 20-minute game, you achieve victory. These moments in Paladins are honestly some of the most thrilling and fun moments I've ever experienced in video games. And these different ways the game can turn out greatly enhances how unpredictable and fun it can be. Adding to this, there are around 26 different champions currently, each with their own distinct playstyles. Yes, I said playstyles, as in multiple styles of play. The MOBA elements implemented into Paladins allow each character to have customizable loadouts to suit your preferred playstyle. A good example of this is a loadout I use with the champion Cassie, that lets you almost instantly roll if you hit an enemy after you roll. As you can imagine, rolling an infinite amount of times is quite a lot of fun, but that's only the tip of the iceberg, as each character has many cards you can use in conjunction with each other to create a rather unique way to play, or at least slightly different. So there should be something for everyone in between all these characters and all these different ways to play. The game is further enhanced by the burn cards, or also known as the in-game items. They are available anytime throughout the game and can range from the infamous Cauterize that prevents enemies from healing after a few seconds after you shoot them, to something more defensive like Haven that reduces all direct damage you take by 7%. Another aspect of Paladins I really like is how it looks. It's aesthetically pleasing to the eyes and colourful and bright, and you get characters ranging from the pink-haired Meve to the dark and brooding Androxus, each with their own distinct look, but they all still feel connected in one universe, which I think is quite a feat for a game that has characters such as Ruckus, a goblin who pilots a mech called Bolt, to the newly added Willow, a bright pink coloured fairy who's a nightmare to all supports and tanks. And it's not just the base character designs that are astounding. The additional skins for the certain characters are amazing in their own right. Something that ties in with the skins and the aesthetic of the game is the sound, namely the characters' voices. Each character has a very distinct voice which really helps bring out their character. Fernando, the self-appointed knight, is a great example of this. Not only does his suave, Spanish, accented voice help build his character, but also the things he says, the slightly narcissistic way he says things like, "This is a hot team, just like a normal team, but with me in it."
This is a hot team. It is like a normal team, but with me in it.
Really shows that Fernando isn't just some lifeless space marine or a generic bandit. So I've talked about some of the gameplay mechanics and the aesthetics of Paladins, but now I think it's time to state the other reason why I really enjoy playing this game, and that would have to be the state of the game, the community, and the masterminds behind it all, Hi-rez Studios. As of right now, Paladins is still in beta, and just as of late, open beta has started on consoles, which suggests just how much has changed and will change. One thing I can tell you for sure is that it's updated fairly frequently, from what I've seen about every 2 weeks. These aren't just to balance out the game and to fix bugs, no, we've seen 2 fully fledged champions in 1 month, which is what I can tell more than most games. These updates also include new maps, skins, sprays, that generally make the game more fresh and enjoyable. It's not to say that without these it would be a bad game, but it definitely enhances the current experience. I can't say once it exits the beta the updates will be less frequent, but as of late, it's fun being part of this ever-changing game. Branching out into the community aspects of Paladins, it's honestly one of the better communities I've seen. Sure, there's complaining and toxicity, but either I've seen a normally quiet chat or someone being friendly, although there are the odd occurrences when people will say some rather strange or amusing things. Voice chat has been implemented recently, but I have yet actually to see anybody talk, other than some friends who are just messing around. From what I've seen, there are a handful of YouTubers and streamers that cover Paladins who cover the game quite well, although I'm not exactly well versed in the Paladins competitive scene. The people I have seen play Paladins are usually fun and laid back, they don't look like they get aggravated easily, and they're just happy people. One of these YouTubers, which I've garnered a lot of respect for in the last few weeks, is a YouTuber and streamer called Rainday. And I really do advise to check him out. He's a really positive, funny guy, and he's got an awesome voice to boot. And these types of people who are kind of seen to see congregate around Paladins, they're usually happy, bombastic, and full of energy, just like the game is itself. I also have a lot of respect for Hi-rez and the Paladins development team for constantly putting out so much good content for a free game, and I think if a bigger studio or development team was in charge of creating the Paladins content, then it definitely wouldn't be the same, and we might not see as much good stuff. The amount of stuff they actually give players for free is also amazing for a free game. I've seen loads of events like double XP weekends or double gold weekends, and this just goes to show how much Hi-rez care for their players, and it's just really generous for a free game in general. Speaking about Paladins being free, I think it could have easily be a paid for game, and I've actually broken one of my rules while playing games, which would be to never spend money on a free to play game, and this goes for almost everything I've played, including Hearthstone, where I never spent any money. So in the end I actually went and bought some gems, a form of currency in Paladins, the more premium one other than gold, which is used to buy some of the nicest skins and voice packs. But it wasn't really just to buy a cool skin for a character I liked or a nice voice pack. I wanted to buy gems because this game is amazing and I want to support the development, and the only other way is to buy the Founders Pack, which I would have done, but there's something about unlocking all the characters in game myself which I kind of wanted to do on my own. So I do probably look forward to spending a bit more money on gems in the future and buying some nice skins for some of the characters I like to play. So I suppose that initial question still stands. Why should you play Paladins? Well, it's a fresh, fast-paced shooter that presents you with many different ways to play. Granted, it might not have the flair of other games in the same genre, but it still looks and sounds amazing and unique. The character development team also has my greatest respects, as I'd kill for some of those character designs to be mine. As someone who draws a lot, I've tended to find myself drawing some of the Paladins characters quite a lot recently, which is a good sign that I really enjoy the game. Also, while playing Paladins, you have so much to look forward to in the future. There's lore for each of the existing characters, there's going to be new champions coming out in the future with new maps and hopefully loads more of different new content. As the game is set in a fantasy setting, but also has things like machine guns and rocket launchers, I can definitely see the potential for an amazing backstory or backstories for each of the characters for that matter, as this kind of concept could go anywhere, which I'm looking forward to seeing what Hi-rez eventually comes up with, because they're definitely going to have to think of something good, as people have been speculating what exactly the world in which Paladins is set is, and what the characters do and what they have done. Even if you don't like the sound of it, I still implore you to try. It's free anyway, you can download it on Steam, and there will be a link in the description, so you can check it out there. It is a hefty download of 10 gigabytes if you class that hefty. I mean, New Vegas is about 10 as well, and that's a jam-packed game. So if you have a smaller computer, then you might not be able to run it. But otherwise, it's fairly easy to run. My computer isn't that great, and I manage it to run on medium settings most days with no problems. So if you're just looking for a great multiplayer experience, or a fun time in general, then I really implore you to check Paladins out, and there isn't much to lose anyway because it's a free game, and even if you dislike it, all you lose is a bit of time, which you'll probably lose anyway on watching stupid videos like this on the internet. And that, my friends, is why I think you should play Paladins, Champions of the Realm. I'd really like to thank my friend Fallen Rain for introducing me into Paladins. So far it's been an amazing and fun experience for the past 100 hours I've played in the last month or so. And furthermore, I'd like to thank Hi-rez Studios for making such an amazing game, which is so fun to play. I can just sit down after a long day at school or after editing a video and play a little pink-haired girl who throws knives at people and run around, which is really fun to play. I'd also really like to thank Super Right Patch Wolf for the video idea. He normally tackles anime in this subject by telling you why you should watch them, and you should definitely check them out. And even if you don't like anime, he's definitely worth checking out, as he's done some other amazing videos on other topics, such as do spoilers actually spoil things, and he's done one video on a game, which is Silent Hill 2, which has convinced me to actually check it out. And I don't usually check out horror games that often, which is quite a feat. This was something rather different from the usual stuff I do, such as playing RPGs and narrating over them, and I wouldn't mind doing it again. There are some other games I'd like to do this with, such as Morrowind and Fallout New Vegas, and maybe Star Control once I finished it, because I feel really passionate about some of these other games and I'd really like others to check them out. And that was one of the main reasons why I made this channel in the first place, although I don't really think I got the message through that well. So seriously, thanks for watching. It might not have been the greatest video ever. I put a lot of work into this, and I'd like to make more higher quality videos in the future, but just don't expect them all the time. It took me quite a long while to do this and edit it, and I think I'll take maybe another month or a few weeks before I start making another one. So, this is is-AlchemistThrace, signing off. Thanks for watching, and have a great day, or night, or whatever time it is with you. Or maybe you're on like the space station. Do they have YouTube on the space station? I'm not even sure. Anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.